Okay, folks, it is 6:05 and it's snowing here in Hampstead. It's 32 degrees. We're right on the freezing mark. Let me just show you something. Here's my, probably a mistake that I'm doing this, but there's the snow. It's snowing pretty good here. There's my, just so you guys see, I tried to brush the snow off the top of the, so I brushed the snow off the top. Did I get snow on the lens? I just want to make sure we're not, because this is going to be a picture perfect ride, folks. Not really. There we go. I think we're good. Okay. Yeah, so, hey, here's the good news, right? I got new tires. Brand spanking new. I don't have to scream. You're right there. I'm sorry. I apologize for any loud behavior. Okay, here we go. I got one stop today. It's going to be an easy ride. It's not going to be a pretty ride, though, because keeping the windshield crisp and clear is not going to be easy today. Like, that's as close as we're going to get. All right, here we go. Normally this trip takes about an hour. Whoa, it's my seatbelt. Seatbelt emergency. Please hold. There we go. All right, so let me just make sure everything's good here. You got the mic there. Make sure you're not. I'm sorry about that if you heard a little. Oh, there's a pile of salt in the road. Salt in the road! Hopefully it got jammed up in our tread. Now we're safe to go. Salt truck. So here's what happened. Have I started the day right, though? Yeah, 32 degrees, snowing. Guess that's kind of obvious. And it just started. So, I mean, not just started, but, within the last hour. Really, yesterday, we had snow yesterday. And, there we go. Yeah, see, they haven't really, it's starting to lay on the road. So we had snow yesterday morning after during my run in the morning, but then it snowed pretty good yesterday morning. We had about maybe 3 or 4 inches, depending on where you were. I think some people were saying 4 to 6. I that when I got home, and but it was pretty light. This snow is very wet. Like, this would be really good snowman snow. This just started. So yesterday afternoon, it was one of those snows where it was warm enough that you shoveled, and then the sun came out a little bit, and it just, anything that you shoveled is perfectly clear, which is good. You got to get that done before any kind of freezing weather comes, because if you don't shovel and then it starts freezing, that's when it just becomes more work than you want to get involved in. To the bakery, which is only maybe 12, 13 miles, something like that, it turned into snow. So I don't know what it's going to be like during the whole trip. Like, we might get over to Eldersburg. From Hampstead to Eldersburg, which is where the cafe is that I'm delivering to, it's kind of going from northwest to west. You're not really going any further south. You're just kind of going west. So I would suspect that it's going to be snow for the whole trip, but I don't know. And then this is supposed to last for about another hour or two. Actually, Bob said to me before I left, he's like, if you want to wait. But I'm like, no. These donuts got to roll. Nothing stops a donut. So here we are. The donuts were pretty happy to hear that. You know, I could, even when I said it, I could hear like a little murmur of cheers come from the rack of donuts. Because they're like, yeah, we get, it's like a little fun for them. You know what I mean? They like snow. Oh, the cows are out there. I know you probably didn't see them. And under normal circumstances, I might have moved the camera, but I gotta focus. I gotta focus. So anyway, I hope everybody's doing good. Sunday morning, kind of a quiet morning. See, that's the one thing I like about snow. See, like right now, I don't really need the windshield wipers because it just blows up off the window most of the time. A little messy. Right now it's just kind of slushy. I used to like to run in the snow. Like when I was younger, I don't really run anymore. I walk a lot. I don't run a lot. But when I would go out running, I liked running in the snow. High beams are almost worse in the snow, right? Like there we're looking at the road. There we're looking at a wall of snow. Road, wall of snow. Oh, Lord. I kind of like it, though. I feel like I'm on an amusement ride or something. It is pretty thick. Like I can feel, you know how like when you ride through slush? That's what it feels like. I know you probably can't hear it. This is the one time the microphone's probably muting out the sound of the slushy road. So sure, you're all tucked away in your warm little house. I'm out here. No, actually, I'm in a very comfortable van. It's very comfortable. I've got no worries. Do you hear that noise? My windshield wipers. I forget who it was. Is it John's car where you can't even hear his windshield wipers? I kind of envy that. Oh, by the way, while I'm thinking about it, if anybody's watching this, you like car videos and stuff, people driving and all, look at my description. The channel is Driving Daily. I think it's 592. There's a number after it, but please look at the description because I'm never 100% confident that I'm saying that right. Ever. Anybody's number. That's not just that. Whenever there are numbers after a name, I never remember. Anyway, so 2 days ago, if you go on that channel and you look at the live streams, the replays are all in there. 2 days ago, I forget exactly what he said, but he put a thumbnail on it that refers to the fact that there was a mechanical issue that we had to deal with. Notice how I said we? Really, he had to deal with. But the reason I pointed out is if you go and look, it's like a 9-hour, almost, I think it's 9 or 10 hour live stream. So to make it, well, this could be slick. to get to the part where he runs into his mechanical issue, look at the comments, and there's three different moments that I thought were kind of interesting. One is when he decides what he's going to do. One is when he's finally removed the part, and so like that's right in the middle of the whole replacement process. And then at the end, when he tests out to see if the car will start. So anyway, but it's like a 2-hour. You're not going to want to watch the whole thing probably. Hours. Those are the kind of the moments that you'd want to look at. But anyway, I saw that this morning. I had like an extra hour this morning. Sunday mornings, I don't have to get, because I don't drive until 6. So I have an extra hour. I usually just kind of like walk on the treadmill and work, not work, but work. Anytime I'm on the computer, I call it work, but it's not really work. It's play. Everything I do is play. Even when I worked, I played. Well, most of the time. Sometimes I work. This is really kind of cool. This is a lot of snow, actually. I mean, it's coming down pretty heavy. There's not a lot on the road, but there's enough. All right. Pull back. Kind of get mesmerized by this, you know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm going through a tunnel of snow. So I'm probably in prime condition to be hypnotized right now. So if you do type anything, don't say anything like you're getting sleepy. Don't do that. Because it could really happen, probably. Like, I can tell right now that whatever's going on with my eyes and the snow, I could be hypnotized very easily right now. So don't come on here and try to get me to be hypnotized. Ask me some personal questions. That wouldn't be good. That wouldn't be ethical. Goofball. So today we're getting you're getting a little delivery van, a little thoughts from the driver's seat, and a little storm chaser action. Where are you going to get that all in one video? Nowhere. That's where. Nowhere. Not today. Not right now. This is it. Now here's the thing. If for any reason I spin off the road or something happens like that, it could be very embarrassing. So I might... That's the other thing. Like when you're live streaming, there is a little bit of pressure, I don't know. I don't think I posted the video. Maybe I did. One time, I'm thinking out loud right now, so I apologize for the confusion. The first time I ever took the camera out of the car, I'd have to look at this to see when it was. But I took the camera out because I was going to show, and I had like a tripod thing that I put it on, and then I was going to say, and this is, I was going to, taking the donuts and other danishes and stuff out of the Lenny's, where and I started to move the trays from the van to the rack, and the rack was like propped next to the van, and it started to roll away, and like I had to try to grab, and I had a tray in my hand as it was starting to roll. So I didn't drop the tray, but it came close. It came close. It was pretty embarrassing. Anyway, so the point is, you have to be careful when you're live streaming. Anything you do is permanently recorded. I don't think the windshield wipers. The snow doesn't really hit the windshield. But you don't really want to go that fast because, you know what I'm saying. This is probably going to turn to rain in an hour or two. But we're still holding at 32 degrees. It can snow though. I know it can snow at degrees higher than 32. You know, like you could have the outside temperature could be warmer than 32. I think it could be like 34 or 35. I don't know exactly how high that's possible, but I feel like I've seen that happen. Whoa, loud. $2.65 price of gas. Oops. $2.65 away. So that's actually coming down a little bit. Gas prices might be coming down a little bit. Let me drink some coffee here. I haven't even had any coffee yet. Oh shit, you know what? I see that you're typing. You know what? I didn't turn on. This is what I didn't turn on my let me do this now. Before we get a green light. Is it gonna read everything that you said or just all right, I'm on now. And I should be able to hear you if you type. I'm sorry, I didn't know anybody was there because I didn't have the audio. I didn't have the text to speech. If you type now, I should hear you. Geez, I looked up. grabbing these reading glasses. Let's see. Oh, it's just going to turn green. Who is that? Sawyer!
Cat.cs2
There
says
you
Paul Craig.
I just saw your just saw your name on there. Oh, what a bummer. I forgot when I left the bakery, I forgot to turn on the text to speech.
Owner 1561 says good morning.
Good morning. How's everybody doing? We're getting a little snow here this morning. Hear that windshield wiper? It's ridiculous. I don't think this van has a setting. Like in my car, I can move it so that it does that slower than every, whatever that is, 5 seconds.
Owner 1561 says it's cold here.
Yeah, here too. Although, well, now it's 31 degrees here. It has been colder. Like, it actually feels warm, I guess, compared to recently we've been having temperatures below freezing, like 17. One day was 17, the other day was like in the 20s. And I think it's going down again right now. When you say cold, how cold do you mean?
Owner 1561 says 15 here.
15? Oh yeah, that's cold. Yeah. That is cold. I don't really like, I mean, once you get into the low 20s, that's when it just gets painful.
Owner 1561 says and going down.
Oh. Yeah, that's, I don't envy you there. I think we are going to get colder, but not today, which is good. Hopefully this snow will melt enough, dry enough, that when the temperature drops back down that far, it won't freeze up. But on the good side, we're more than halfway through January, so that's a good thing. I mean, I don't mind cold weather. I think it's actually good for you. I don't know, maybe that's just, like, you know how people are always like, oh, don't go out in the cold, you're going to get sick. I don't.
Owner 1561 says the roads there look pretty clear.
Yeah, this road is mostly wet. The back roads we were on a little bit earlier were starting to get slushy, but this one's pretty good. I'm driving through a county in Maryland. It's called Carroll County, and they are very good about their snow removal and, you know, preparing the roads and stuff. They keep them pretty clear. hope when I get to this cafe that people are there. That's the only. I mean, this route isn't really bad enough. It looks bad if you like wake up and look out the window. It looks like the snow's coming down really heavy, but it's not bad enough to be opening late, that kind of thing. But who knows? We're going to find out when we get there. This isn't bad at all.
Flag owner 1561 says, what time of the morning do you start?
Today I started at 6 o'clock. So I left the bakery at 6 o'clock. This delivery is about a half an hour away. Like we'll be there in about 5 or 10 minutes. And it's the only delivery I make on Sunday. So Sunday's kind of a short day. Other days, I start at 5. I usually leave the bakery like 5, between 5 and quarter after 5. And depending on, sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3 different deliveries. And that can be like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So like tomorrow, Monday, I have 3 deliveries to make. You never know what you're going to see. Frequently, well, I mean not frequently, but I occasionally see a deer, kind of thing. Some crazy drivers. I think a lot of this has switched over to rain or nothing at all, but it's definitely let up a little bit. Like,
Flag owner 1561 says I, NDE had deer right next to my front porch, and my neighbor has actually had them on their porch.
really? Wow. I like deer. I mean, I wish they didn't hang out around the roadways, but outside of that, I like them. They're cute. Even though I'm like in the suburbs, so I'm not in an area where you normally see deer, but every now and then I do. I get them around. I think all of this is supposed to stop within a couple hours.
Flag Tag owner 1561 says, and there were 3 albino here in the same field.
Albino deer? That's pretty cool. So is an albino deer like their hair is all white? That's pretty cool. I've never seen that. That's pretty cool. I have a dog, and I can tell if there's anything in the yard. You know, he'll dart. Like when I open the door to let him out in the morning, he'll dart out. If there's anything, I mean, I guess he can just tell. He probably smell if there's. I mean, they're normally smaller things like a rabbit or a squirrel, or obviously a squirrel. He goes crazy over squirrels. The windshield wipers are like, it's one of those kind of conditions where they're not really necessary all the time. Yeah, one morning I opened the door and there were like four deer were standing there on the other side of the fence. He caught a squirrel one time. One time he was running down the backyard and the squirrel just waited too long before he started running. And AJ got him by the tail. And I'm like screaming at him. I'm like, AJ! He did let it go. He kind of had that look on his face like he didn't know what to do with it anyway. All right, here we are. What a day, cafe. Yeah, they're definitely not getting the same weather here that we had when I left the bakery. Because the snow that's on the ground here would have been from yesterday. Like they might have been might have been my tire tracks. They have a sign on their drive-through. I can't read it from here. Something about snow. I gotta go check that out. All right, let me call them. See if I can get them over here. The audio will drop, I think, when I'm on the phone. I haven't really, ever since I got this microphone, I haven't tested that out yet. I don't know if that's true. You may hear me talking, but maybe not. So if it drops, it's just because I'm on the phone with All right, he's on his way. On his way. Let me run over there. Actually, you will still be able to hear me. It's like not even raining here. What does their sign say? Closed early. Sorry for ink. Oh. So I guess they closed yesterday early. Snow is in the morning. It's actually not bad right here. It's just kind of misty. This is like it was where I left my house. I hear him coming. I can hear it. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, let's do this. Donuts. I am just loading up their tray right now. Wow, this is like much more pleasant than I thought it was going to be. Like if you watched when I left the bakery, it was very snowy, yucky. That's the technical word for it, is yucky. And it's not here. Like, this is fine. But I'm curious when I get back whether they're still experiencing. All right, now I'm going to do something here. I'm going to take the mic off because I can hear already that they blast music in there. And I don't want to walk through there. I don't want to walk through there with the mic on, so I'm going to put you in here. Okay, now you're in the passenger seat, literally. Okay, let's turn up some of my license-free music. Back. Getting better at this. I don't want to drop the magnet. If you watched my video about the Starlink, I think that's safe. I don't want to have it so that my coat. You're probably hearing all kinds of noise. There we go. So I dropped the magnet that is behind the microphone. You know, it's one of these. It attaches to your shirt by, having a magnet behind it, which is very convenient. But if you pull the mic off your shirt, the magnet drops down your shirt. Well, that happened to me the other day, and I could not find it. I mean, it was ridiculous. It was so stupid. But I did learn a lesson from that. Hang on to that little magnet because it is tiny. And yeah, that was embarrassing. Actually, I don't really get embarrassed. That is one. That's like a thing that is very. If you can get yourself to the point where you don't get embarrassed about stuff, that's like a superpower. You know what I mean? You're unstoppable because you'll do anything. Anyway, they play. The reason I didn't walk through there with my mic on is because they play music really when they're setting up in the morning. It's just. I think there are two of them and they're working, and it's like loud. It's like blasting. So I didn't want to. I'm sure that would end up being a copyright issue. Yeah, see, I'm interested now to see, like, whether it's like this when I get back to Hampstead, because this is nothing. So the donuts have been delivered. That's like a really nice, it's called What a Day Cafe. And, they've got breakfast, lunch. They have dinner stuff in there too. But they have really good food. And they have excellent donuts and pastries. Yeah, just saying. Turning back over to snow a little bit. We didn't see this much snow earlier, just 10 minutes ago, coming over here.
Flag owner 1561 says, how in many years have you been delivering the donuts?
Oh, I actually have not been doing this that long. I started last summer. And then in my career, I was in like the financial industry. And then I retired. And then I was like, no, I can't just, I like to have a schedule. I like to do something. And I like to drive faster than this too. We kind of caught up. This guy's freaking out. But so the owners of this bakery are, I guess you would sort of call them family. It's my sister-in-law's sister that owns the bakery and her husband. So I don't know what you call that person in your life, right? What is your sister-in-law's sister? I don't know what that is, but anyway. but so like I'm like, hey, yeah, I'll help you out. Let me. Oh my goodness, this car. Sorry, I keep getting distracted because we're going like 25 miles an hour. The snowplow behind me wants to go faster, I think. So I started driving for the bakery. Then, and I've always been like online. I was kind of like watching YouTube and stuff. And I started seeing truck drivers that were live streaming. And I'm like, hey, maybe I could do that. So that's what got me interested in that. And it sort of snowballed from there. I started that like in October, I think. I think that was October. It was the first time I like put the camera up and started the live stream. And then, I sort of became obsessed with it. So next thing you know, I'm like, all right. I was using just the cell phone connection, but the roads out here I'm in a fairly rural area, so they have cell phone coverage, but it's not really strong enough to support live streaming. And I ended up getting Starlink. I was like talking, there were a couple. This is crazy, guys. This person is hardly moving. It's not that bad. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the fact that I could probably run faster.
Flag owner 1561 says I retired and was going crazy, and that's why I started doing DoorDash.
Yeah, see, that's the same. That's exactly what. Like, I can totally relate to that because that's what happened. I was like, I can't just sit at home and do nothing. And I mean, I played around with like, do I want to go volunteer somewhere? But sort of while I was putting all of those thoughts together, oh my goodness, what? While I was putting those thoughts together, my sister-in-law said, hey, my sister's looking for help driving, making deliveries in the morning. I'm like, yeah, I can do that. So here I am. I love driving. I absolutely love driving. Like, ever since, when I got my license on the day I turned 16, because I was like, I got to do it. I don't blame this truck. I'm going to do the same thing if I have a chance. I mean, I don't like to pass, but I can't do this, man. I can't do it. Now, do you like to drive? Like, what got you into DoorDash? Why was that the way you decided to go? I guess you can kind of make your own hours, right? You can do it whenever you...
Flag owner 1561 says I thought about getting into trying to be a financial coach.
Financial coach is good. I worked in more in operations. Like I was in. Here we go. All right, we're gonna do this, guys, because I can't. There we go. I mean, I'm not going to be going super fast, but I can't go that slow, But yeah, so I got into the financial industry world. There was a local brokerage firm that I started in at a young age. Kind of worked my way up through operations. Whoa, what am I doing? But I loved it. I mean, I love the financial industry world. So I was an office creature, 9 to 5. So this was I mean, this was pretty big. Well, I wouldn't even call it a change. I don't really feel like I'm working. I'm just sort of like, to me, I like doing this. Well, you could do something online. You could always, I mean, there are a lot of people out there. I worry sometimes that there are people out there, even though like the common thing now is people say, this is not financial advice. That's how everybody gets around talking about financial advice. I'm not giving financial advice. And I guess that concerns me just because I know all the regulations and things behind the scenes that can really hurt people if they misunderstand you and that kind of stuff. I'm very, very, very...
Flag owner 1561 says that's why I got into DoorDash, because it doesn't seem like work.
Yeah.
I can work whenever I want to, and if I don't feel like working, I don't have to say talking about financial advice. I guess.
Yeah. Well, you could do... Yeah, I could totally understand that. Kind of do it whenever you want. Now, I don't have that flexibility with this. That is one thing. Like, I got to make, every morning I have to make this delivery at a certain time. But that's good for me. And I like mornings. Like, I've always been a morning person. So it worked out perfectly for me. Because this is the time I like to be up and getting something done. But I don't have, you've got more flexibility than me in the sense that you can kind of go out and work as much as you want, whenever you want, based on, I guess there are better times to be on the road than others. And I like being out with, like, the one thing, being in the financial world, when COVID came and everybody could kind of work from home. And then even after COVID, so many people were, like, working from home more often than not. I didn't really like working from home. And it's not because I couldn't focus or anything like that. It was just because, I don't know, I actually like to be around people. Now that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this, because I was driving every morning, listening to podcasts and music and stuff, books. I've read, I didn't read, but Audible. Probably went through a book, couple
Flag owner
books a week.
1561 says I found out when I first retired. You can only fish so many times a week before it gets boring.
Yeah. True. Like, that's a good point. I think of that too with people that say they want to go sit on the beach somewhere. When I was little, I was kind of a beach person. I like to play on the beach and stuff, but I'm not really a sit on the beach type of person. And fishing, I can imagine the same kind of thing would happen. I mean, I think it's good to kind of have a purpose, like something to do. People counting on you, interacting with people. And that's the thing about working from home. Even people that are working from home, and a lot of people still do it. But I just think I feel isolated, And I'm not a super social person. I know that sounds ridiculous, but like, I was the person at work where, like, people used to joke about the fact that, they'd be having a happy hour or something. and they would joke because I never showed up. Like I 8 hours a day, kind of interacting with people at work. Like that was exactly what I needed. I didn't need anything more than that. So like I really kind of didn't. I'm not a super social person, but I also don't like to be isolated. Like people like I like watching people. You know, I think that's what I like about YouTube. Like you can kind of, it's interesting to see what different people are doing, thinking, and all that kind of stuff. And I was watching the news, you know, like you can get, that's not healthy. It's not healthy to spend a lot of time watching the news. Yeah, this room definitely got a decent amount of snow in a little time because it's gotten a little slushier since we were here last. Now is DoorDash putting a toll on your car? Like that's the one thing I thought about. Like with this job, I'm driving the van for the bakery. So I'm not putting, you know, it's not affecting my car. But I did think about that. Like did you you have a car that is not using a lot of gas and all that kind of stuff?
Owner 1561 says I would put a 120 miles a day on my car whenever I was working. And I put approximately the same amount, sometimes less.
Wow. 120. That's a lot of mileage. Even before you door dashed? So like did you have like a super long commute? I got half a tank of gas. I can wait. I don't have to buy gas today. See, now the roads are going to get a little trickier.
Owner 1561 says I drove 60 miles one way every day. And then after I would get all work, I would drive back home and another 60 miles, and then I would go to the gym and work out, which is actually another 30 miles. At Owner 1561 says so I actually put 150 miles a day on the car.
Oh my goodness. That's quite a commute. Yeah, I had. Well, there probably 20 years when I was working in downtown Baltimore, and Baltimore has a subway that actually it doesn't have a very extensive subway. It only has one line. It comes out. Fortunately, it comes out toward my neighborhood in the suburbs. So for a long time, I would just drive to the subway station, which was about 3 miles away. So during that period of time, I had very little mileage on my car. Um, but then I ended up working at a location that was about 12 miles away. And so my commute's always in the 12 to 15 mile range. It has been, except for when I work downtown. But 60 miles, oh my goodness. That's a lot. Now, what would you typically when you're riding in conditions like that? Are you listening to radio, music, books? Like, what did you do to keep yourself entertained?
Flag owner 1561 says I listen to a guy called Dave Ramsey.
Oh, yeah, he's good. Don't borrow money, ever. That's pretty good advice. I think that's definitely good advice. I learned that probably in my early 30s. So when I was in my 20s, I was spending money like how do I think about this? When I was in my 20s, I was spending money like my income in my 30s. So in my 30s, I spent money like the income I had in my 20s. So it all balanced out in the long run. But yeah, in my 20s, I definitely overspent. I thought credit cards were cool. That was dumb. So by my late 20s, I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Credit cards are stupid. And I got that cleared up in my 30s. But so I do kind of I like Dave Ramsey. He's a good guy.
Flag owner 1561 says so did I.
It's funny. Like when I was in my 20s, I actually, you get the thing in the mail. You've been approved. I'm like, oh yeah, let me get this one. I think at one point, I don't know how many credit cards I had, but I thought it was the greatest thing.
Flag owner 1561 says in 2013 I had just gone through a divorce, and I lived at work 50, 60, 70 hours a week, so I could pay off my debt. I paid off $15,000 in about 4 months.
That's good. That's very good. I did the same thing. I didn't get married and have to go through the divorce thing. That's probably one way I saved a little money. But I kind of, and I didn't listen to Dave Ramsey at the time, but my approach to it was I had I don't remember how many, maybe 3 or 4 credit cards with reasonable balances on them. So I took the largest balance. I would pay the minimum on everything else, and put a whole chunk toward one, right? I'd be like paid down one credit card at a time. Knocked it out. It took me a while. It took me longer than that to get them paid off. But yeah, you kind of have to do that. Otherwise, the rates are ridiculous. I felt like, remember when, way back when, interest rates that you could earn, like at a credit union, were crazy. Like you could earn 7, 8, 9%. You earning that much interest. And the credit cards.
Owner 1561 says, and I love not having a headaches with credit cards anymore.
Yeah, me too. Me too. But yeah, you used to be able to earn interest at a great rate, and that's when I was borrowing money. And then when I got my debt paid off, the interest rates went down. It sort of played that. That did not work out to my advantage. But I did get out of debt. That's a good thing. Snow is letting up.
Owner 1561 says, what do you do besides work? You have any hobbies?
I'm on the computer a lot. Like I like to, like one thing I like about live streaming is, kind of the things that I can do with it, with like editing some videos. I'm trying to make time to do that more. So I like that kind of thing. Photography, video. I have a dog. Love my dog. I have, I've always had like Shelties. And so at one point I had a male and a female. And actually that's what I started. I didn't do it intentionally because I wanted to make money or anything. I just put some videos of my puppies on YouTube. That was like 10 years ago. And one of my videos like blew up. I think I have like 200. From my perspective, it blew up. I'm sure there are people out there that it's nothing, but I had one video that has over 250,000 views. I guess it hit an algorithm or something. It had nothing to do with me, believe me, but I guess it hit an algorithm or something and must have been put out there. Your success in YouTube actually depends a lot on YouTube. Like, are they going to put your video out there for people? And whatever happened to that one, which I thought was pretty funny at the time. And but I do dogs. I love dogs. I love hanging out with my dog and taking care of my house. I like exercising. I have everything at home though. I don't go to the gym anymore. I stopped going to the gym and started buying fitness equipment. So I have like a whole gym thing set up downstairs in my house. So I can pretty much do everything I need at home. I have a treadmill, a walking treadmill. So I'm on that all the time. So even if I'm online all the time, I'm usually walking. So I like that kind of stuff. Driving. Like I want to do stuff like what I really want to do with this channel is like the live streams are just going to be me driving and thinking and stuff like that. And then I figure that will probably, I can pull stuff out of that. Like if I have a conversation or if I have a thought that I want to just make a short clip about. Right now all I've done is like deer, my deer sightings. People are going to think this guy has a real thing about deer, but that's what I've, like they're the easiest thing for me to pull out, you know? I just think it's fun putting the videos together. I have two brothers. Both of them have kids. My younger brother, so kind of hang out with them, my niece and nephews and stuff. And now my niece and nephews are having kids. It's crazy. I don't feel old though. I am old, but I don't feel old. Well, when is your best time to DoorDash? Like, when do you go out and DoorDash? And how long do you do that during the day? They're my cows. I think this road cleared up pretty good.
Wagowner 1561 says I start. And about 6:30 or 7 o'clock in the morning. And then just whenever I get tired of doing it.
And is that time frame pretty steady? Like, are people ordering breakfast stuff and all that? I think my weather has completely cleared up. Well, not cleared up, but I think it's stopped. I don't know. Look, I said that, and then I saw something in the windshield.
Wagowner 1561 says from about 7:30 until 10, it's pretty busy. And then from about noon until 3:34 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, look, we've got a news team here, WBAL. Oh, my goodness. You see that? You see the WBAL news? So, I bet you the news people have stopped in the bakery to get a donut. Do you see that? WBAL News, right there. So what they do is they drive around Baltimore, and they're in my parking spot. There's son of a... All right, let me do this. Let me park over here till they leave, because that's my parking spot where they are. I wonder if they're in the bakery. Well, this
Flag owner 1561 says I hate when that happens.
It doesn't happen very often. I have to say, this is the first time I've had a news crew parked in my spot. What do I want to do? You think they're in there? Okay, let's do this. I'm going, look, that guy that just got out of that truck over there, he probably thinks I'm Bob. Because Bob did all the driving. That's the husband, the husband and wife that own the bakery. He's the husband. So Bob, like all these people know Bob. So a lot of times when I'm driving the van, they think it's Bob, but it's not Bob. Less of that is happening now, but when I first started driving, that's all they did. I wonder if they're in the bakery. Maybe they're not even in there. I'm going to leave you on me. I don't know if you're going to... you know what? Let's do this. I'm trying to strategize here. I know that the WBAL people are not going to stay there. So let's do this. I'm sure they're doing it. I'm sure they're filming in there. I might leave you guys on my jacket. What do you think? Let's do it. We're going in. Okay, you stay there. Little adventure. Hey, good morning. How are you? Good. Okay, the tray's in. Let's see. What's going on? Where are the WBAL people? Huh?
Usually they'll do their news from out there on the corner or something. That's how they do it.
Oh, so
they come in.
Did they come in yet?
No, get your smiley face on.
They're sitting in my parking spot.
Tell them that shit. Tell them, guys, we have a routine here. We have a business to run. Our name has to be in the spot.
All right. Okay. I don't know if you can still hear me. I'm in the back right now. All right, well, I'll go park the van.
Yeah, 'cause they might want to ask you how are roads out there.
Yeah, they're going to ask you.
Oh, no. Okay. I'll live stream my interview. All right, I'm going to go park. All right, they're not in there. And they haven't been in there. So you know what that means? That means, I don't know if you could hear everything that happened in there, but they haven't gone into the bakery yet. They're just sitting in the van. And what that means is they're like waiting. You know how like they've got to coordinate that with like when the news is going to come on, you know? Like, and now we have blah, blah, blah reporting from Hampstead. They're in the bakery, blah, 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 blah. That's what's going to happen possibly later. Or maybe they'll just leave. Maybe they're just drinking their coffee, you know? Who knows? But I'm going to take the van and just park it over there somewhere. because I'm not going to tell them to move, you know. Like, and apparently, it's only Bob and Jen in the bakery right now. And I think they've basically decided that if they come in to do an interview, they want me to be the one. I don't know how I feel about that. All right, I'm going to park over here. There we go. Good. This is good. This is good. All right, folks. Well, I need to end the live stream. I'll have to fill you all in on what happens. I don't know what they're doing. Like, they might just sit in the van and go.
Wagowner 1561 says if you get interviewed, it might be the start of a new career.
Yeah. I remember when I was little, this is a dumb story, but what can I say? I just say whatever pops in my head. When I was little, the first crush I ever had was there was a lady, her name was Rudy Miller. She worked for WBAL, actually. I won't even tell you how many years ago this was, because I was probably, you know, this is like 10, 13, 10, 12, 13, you know, like I don't know. And I don't think she was super hot. I mean, she was, you know, but I don't know what it was about it. But anyway, so I'm this little kid. I have a crush on Rudy Miller. And I remember she sent me a picture one time. I don't know if I wrote her a letter or something. But yeah, I got a signed letter from Rudy Miller. Rudy Miller. Whew. She's probably not with us anymore. Maybe. I don't know. I have to look her up. Look her up. Google Rudy Miller and see what happens. Anyway, no, don't, because it'll be embarrassing. I don't know. I don't really remember what she looked like now that I'm thinking about it. Anyway, I have to end the live stream. I will let you guys know. So I'll be back on tomorrow at 5 o'clock. But I will probably also, if John is driving today, I'll probably be there later this afternoon. I'm going to be in the bakery for a few hours helping them out, do some stuff. So anyway, it was fun. It was good chatting. And, you know, it's a good morning. I hope everybody has a great day. You're going to go out there and DoorDash. I hope you make some money. Hope you have a good drive if you do that today. It's Sunday. I don't know if that would be a slow day, maybe, for morning. I don't know. People getting up, going to church, maybe. But anyway, I'm gonna log off now, and I'll keep you posted on the activity here. Have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.